was an audible gasp in the courtroom when Stormy d testified that she had discussed Melania and Donald's sleeping arrangements with Mr. Trump.
Afternoon in New York, Donald Trump's hush money trial is continued with the third week of witness testimony. And what a witness today. Stormy Daniels, the adult film star at the centre of the trial, has been on the stand describing her account of meeting Trump at a golf tournament and what happened thereafter. Across the case is Bevan Hurley, senior reporter at the Times in the US. Good evening, Bevan.
Good evening.
How much time did the defence have to prepare for this witness? It felt like she arrived on the stand without much warning, Stormy Daniels.
Yeah, we heard in a Truth Social post from Trump this morning that he was only informed last night. And the reason for that is that he has been, going after witnesses on, social media and in statements. And so
I'm
basically
getting in trouble
the
for
judge,
it.
yeah, the judge has been, warning that he could face jail. And but one of the sort of implications of that is that they're not getting any advance warning. And so yeah, so he found out last night. We found out early this morning, and yeah, after a very brief testimony from a former Penguin Random House executive publisher, Stormy took the stand, and she's just finished up her direct evidence. So we've just moved on to cross-examination. But what a 3 hours it has been.
Give us some highlights then. I mean, she was, or her attorney was ticked off at one point for the level of detail that she was going into, and sort of whether that was strictly necessary. According to what the trial's about. The trial's about a hush money payment paid to her by Michael Cohen, and then seemingly, covered up.
Yeah, there was some legal discussion before she took the stand about exactly how much detail they could go into about this alleged tryst that Trump has always denied, and they basically said that, without getting into anything too lurid, that Stormy could describe what happened. And, she is someone who has been in front of the camera a lot. Also, she knows how to tell a good story, and she's also quite a poised witness. And I think what we found out after the lunch break when Trump's lawyers made this motion for a mistrial was that, the prosecutors had given her too much of a long leash in describing some of these events. And, the judge had repeatedly asked her to slow down and repeatedly asked her just to answer the questions that were posed to her. And the judge made the point to Trump's lawyers that, they could have been a bit more proactive in objecting to some of that testimony. So, yeah, it was an interesting discussion about this mistrial. The judge definitely had some sympathy for the defense's arguments around that.
That's interesting. Some of the revelations then from Stormy Daniels. We know that Donald Trump compared her to his daughter. She went into quite some graphic detail about an encounter with Donald Trump in his hotel room. He was in some silk pajamas, and she asked him to get changed, and then she was faced with him in a t-shirt and boxer shorts, she said, which really surprised her because she thought at the time, she said, how could she have misread this situation so badly? But tell us what else we've been hearing, Bevan.
Yeah, no, that's a really good summary of some of the points. There was an audible gasp in the courtroom when Stormy testified that she had discussed Melania and Donald's sleeping arrangements with Mr. Trump. So this is only sort of a year after Melania and Trump had been married, and Trump told her, this is according to Stormy, that they were now already sleeping in separate rooms. I think he described elsewhere that Melania was very beautiful, but it was almost like, Donald was sort of confiding in this person that he'd just met all these intimate details about his marriage. So that definitely drew some reaction. And I think, all of this goes to show what the prosecutors are trying to do is try to show that she is a credible witness. And part of that is introducing evidence, things like the fact that her phone number was on the Trump organization, Outlook calendar, that she had encounters with other people within Trump world. So it's not just relying on her recounting of the facts. It's sort of, a building block and part of this prosecution.
I'm just reading some information from the past few minutes, and Donald Trump's attorney, Susan Necheles, questions Stormy Daniels' view on Trump. Am I correct in that you hate President Trump? Yes, says Stormy Daniels, and you want him to go to jail. I want him to be held accountable. Sorry, she said. She didn't say yes. I want him to be held accountable, said Stormy Daniels. Part of the reason you hate him, says Trump's attorney, is because he won a legal case against you, and you owe him today over $500,000. Is that right? He didn't win the case, says Stormy Daniels. He won attorney's fees. So you agree with me? He won the case and he was awarded over $500,000 in legal fees. Correct. Here are Donald Trump's. Here is Donald Trump's attorney sort of building up some subtext here from Stormy Daniels' point of view.
Yeah, that relates to a ill-fated defamation case that Stormy brought against Donald Trump when he denied the affair. And yeah, she's correct that she was ordered to pay legal fees of $300,000. So that's obviously ballooned out with, interest rates and things. She has blamed that on her former lawyer, Michael Avenatti. You might remember him. He was, floating around in the media a couple of years ago. He's now doing 19 years in prison for embezzlement. So she's trying to sort of cast the blame for that particular escapade on Avenatti, but it's absolutely right that she has, a lot of bad blood with Trump, and that is going to be part of, the defense's cross-examination, as you've just mentioned.
What else do you think we might hear today?
I guess they're going to go over piece by piece threads that they felt that she was potentially an unreliable witness on. I know part of that motion for a mistrial was that she had changed some of the aspects of the story that she'd previously told, that she had, maybe exaggerated some aspects of that alleged sexual tryst from 2006. So I think, they're going to really go through that very carefully. This is a very important witness in this case. So yeah, it's going to be more tawdry evidence, I'm afraid, but it should be, quite interesting as well.
Fascinating stuff. Bevan Hurley, senior reporter at The Times, based in the US. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you.
The country is on fire. There are protests all over the country. I've never seen anything like this. Many graduation ceremonies are being canceled. They're canceled, as you know, in Colombia. They're canceling a lot of them. And we have a president that just refuses to talk because he can't talk. You know that, and so does everyone else. Some of the statements made about this witch hunt on CNN, fake news CNN, Michael Moore said the proof of falsifying records has not been accomplished. On Good Morning America, they said, we heard that expense payments to lawyers are legal expenses. You pay a lawyer expense payments. We didn't put it down as construction costs, the purchase of sheetrock, the electrical cost. The legal expense that we paid was put down as legal expense. There's nothing else you could say. You don't have to put down anything, I guess. But we put down legal expense was legal expense. Is that a correct statement, Mr. Attorney? And everyone's saying, oh, gee, that's the fraud. That's what they're trying to get us on. The fact that we call a legal expense a legal expense. They marked it down in the books. The check was signed. And the other thing, this was approved by all agencies. Everybody saw this. There was nothing being hidden at all. That's what they're all writing now. There's been nothing hidden. And it went through agencies, and I guess it went through the IRS also. It went through IRS. It went through the FEC. It went through everything. Also, NBC Today showed the challengers that there is no smoking gun, no email or tape to prove the president's intent. They don't have a way to prove that. That's NBC Today show. And then Fox News, Katie Cherkasky, said that the gag order is unconstitutional, which of course it is. The gag order is unconstitutional. So with all that's going on, they have no case. Every single legal scholar that I see, I mean, maybe there's somebody out there, some whack job, but for virtually everyone that I've seen, I said there's absolutely no case. It's a case that shouldn't have been brought. The previous DA wouldn't bring it. Bragg didn't want to bring it, and he brought it because I'm running in #1 place. This all comes out of the White House and crooked Joe Biden. This comes from the White House, and it's all Biden because it's an attack on his political opponent. That hasn't happened in this country. It does happen in third world countries, but it hasn't happened in this country, and it's a shame. And the trial is a very unfair trial. It's a very, very unfair trial. The good news is they have nothing.